So let's take a look at emails. When you're inside one of your transactions, you can see on the left-hand side an option for emails. When I click on this button, you're going to see the send email up at the top, a list of recipients, the subject line, and the message. On the I here, this provides extra information. If the mouse hovers over it, you'll see a pop-up appear with information to help explain what to do on how emails work and how to use the email templates. So the way this works is on the list of recipients, this is dependent on who you have listed as parties. Just like in the documents where you have buttons for each party that's listed in here, same thing applies for emails. So these are all the people associated with this particular transaction. So when I go to emails, there is a button for each person that I have an email address for in the parties section. When you hover your mouse over each of these buttons, a pop-up appears to remind you who that person is and what their email is. You can see for this title and for lender, they both have an assistant. So both of those people will automatically get the email if we send it to the lender or if I send it to title. So now I can select I want to send it to the seller. I'm also going to CC my TC and myself. And in the subject line, I can say, "Congrats, you are under contract." And then I can add whatever message I would like to send. And you can fill out your email to whatever you want it to say. And when you're ready to send it, in the lower right-hand corner is the send button. Now what happens is once you send it, you see the email successfully sent, and in the upper right-hand corner is a reminder that that worked, unless there was an error message. And then in email history, you're going to see that this email went out, and you'll see who it was sent to, who it was CC carbon copy to, and any blind carbon copies. This is a great way to keep track of what's been sent to all the parties within a given transaction. So between you, your TC, and your assistant, when you send out emails from within this transaction, you can keep track of all of what was said in this email history. So a few other things, you can also add other emails in here. So if you have other people you want to send who are not parties to this particular transaction, you can still email them by adding their name and comma separating if there are multiple ones in here. And that can be great if there's a one-off person you need to send to. So let's take a look inside this message area where it defaults to some information with my name, my realty, and my phone number. Well, that is your signature field that you can change inside your profile. So if you go up to your name in the upper right-hand corner and click on the drop-down and select My Profile, which is first in the list, and scroll down to the bottom, you're going to see the email signature field. And here's where you can customize to what you want it to say. Once you click Submit, and now we go back to that transaction. Now you can see that change automatically shows up inside my email. Now the other really exciting thing about emails is using templates. In the upper right-hand corner, you can see a blue button with the plus sign and Use Template. Now if you created templates, they will all show up here. Now I use emails extensively on TransActioner because it's so easy to keep track of what I have sent to each of my clients because it's all wrapped up into each separate transaction. So I love these email templates. So I have email templates for a variety of different things. So for seller, I'll pick this solar. So in this example, it automatically selects who the people are who should receive this particular email. So it goes to the seller as well as me. It already populates the subject and the message for me. And so I have all my information that I like to send out about seller to my sellers. So I can click send, and it shows up in my email history as well. Okay, so how do we create these templates that we can use for email? So if you go into the upper right corner with your name, click on the drop down and go down to the option under templates for email. So click on the email, and that's where you're going to see all your templates. If you haven't created any email templates, yours will be blank, but then there's a button to add a new template. So if we go down here to where we use the seller solar, let's take a look at that template. If I click on the drop down, the options, I can edit, copy, rename, or delete. So this time I'm going to edit it so we can take a look. And what you'll see here is of all the 2 options for the recipients, it has seller and seller 2 selected. Now in our transaction example, there was only 1 seller, but if there was a second seller, that second seller would also be selected to receive this email. It has the subject line and it has the message that you saw in there and the name of the template. And you click submit to save. If you create a new template, you can select whichever options you want, who it should go to. I name my templates based on if it's intended for the buyer or if it's intended for the seller. The naming convention I use is just my own. You can name them however you like. And that's how email and email templates work.